between the democracies of the West and the communism of the Soviet Union dooms Ho Chi Minh's revolutionary government to failure. The Viet Minh melt away into the countryside, and the situation rapidly deteriorates into what will be called the First Indochina War. General Giap.
On one side, the professional army of an old imperial power, armed with all kinds of modern weapons, aircrafts, warships, artillery, machine guns. On our side, we have just ordinary people, armed with simple weapons, but who are determined to fight to the bitter end to defend their country.
On the surface, colonial life begins to resemble pre-war affluence for the French residents. But for many young Vietnamese, a stark choice is beginning to rear its head. Nguyen Xuan Phong lives in Saigon.
We wanted to shake off French rule. We enjoyed the kind of life they offered, but we didn't like them on our back. In the late 40s, there was agitation in the Vietnamese schools. The students were circulating photographs of Ho Chi Minh side by side with Lenin and Marx. And I was one of them, and I got caught. My father was conned and I was expelled. He took me home and spanked me a lot. Why do you do these things? Don't do these things. Somehow he got me back into school. But my uncles went north and joined the Viet Minh. They stayed there but kept in touch through the family. They were up there but we were down south. So each side had its own way of life, I suppose. Most of us didn't make a conscious act of choosing. You were caught in a certain situation. You remained there and you responded to circumstances.
Although Giap's tactics gradually erode French control in the countryside, its weapons still possess frightening power. Ngo Van Chu, a Viet Minh officer at the Battle of VinhIen, January 17th, 1951.
Our division has been on the attack ever since this morning. We are forming a group of 10 elite battalions who should be able to take Vinh Yên before tomorrow. Then I hear a sound in the sky. Strange birds appear, getting bigger and bigger. Aeroplanes. I order my men to take cover from the machine guns and bombs, but the planes dive without firing. Then hell opens up before my eyes. Large egg-shaped canisters drop from the planes and immense sheets of flame, extending for hundreds of meters, strike terror in the ranks of my soldiers. This is napalm, the fire that falls from the skies.
By 1951, 100,000 Vietnamese are fighting with French forces against the Viet Minh. Saigon, spring Nguyen Lac Hoa witnesses a military parade of the Vietnamese National Army to welcome Jean Le Tourneau, the new French High Commissioner to Indochina.
There are plenty of Vietnamese who are prepared to fight for the French. They think it's in their best interests. They have all the latest American equipment and look very impressive. Whether they will fight against fellow Vietnamese in a full-scale battle, I just don't know.
The Vietnamese army is part of a union of French forces, which includes legionnaires, paratroopers, over 40,000 African and North African troops, and almost 20,000 French officers. March 1953, Saigon. Marshal of France Alphonse Juin and Commander of French forces in Indochina, Raoul Salin, greet US General Mark Clark, United Nations Supreme Commander in the Far East. Also present is Chief of Staff of the Vietnamese Army, Nguyen Van Hin. General Giap.
The French are now falling in with the Americans and using their money and equipment to establish national armies. And so, France is beginning to turn over Indochina to the United States.
The United States is funding 80% of the French war effort. The Viet Minh's resources are coming directly from the Soviet Union and Mao Zedong's new communist regime in China. The Indochina War is no longer a minor skirmish between a European empire and its reluctant colonial subjects. It is becoming a global battleground. In May 1953, the French replaced General Salin with General Henri Eugène Navarre. He immediately makes a momentous decision to create a major defensive position in the northwest of Vietnam, close to the Laos border. He chooses a small settlement on the strategic route between China, Laos, and Vietnam, occupied by the Thai tribesmen, who are still loyal to the French. It is called Dien Bien Phu. Navarre orders the airlift of a large force from the Gia Lam Air Base in Hanoi and Gap Ba in Haiphong. Viet Minh officer Ngo Van Chu watches as the French forces land.
We knew they were the best day